All right. Here we go. We all ready? Okay, welcome. It's Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. Today is January 12th. And in case you may not know, it is 2026. Got it? 2026. Just in case you didn't know that. And we're starting a little bit late. It's 6:11, and we're going to start our meeting. So thank you. And we're going to go ahead and take roll.
Christina Barbera is excused. John Barbera.
Here.
Christina Calander is excused. Vic Christensen here. May Cordero Herrera. Here. Adrian Fernandez.
Present.
Cynthia Gagne.
Here.
Gwen Henry. April Jones.
Here.
Melanie Lebrecht.
Here.
Kelly Miller.
Here.
Kay Nicholas.
Here.
Thomas Norman's excused. Ray Regalado.
Yep.
Angela Sumner.
Here.
Chris Valle.
Here.
So we have 14.
Okay. And my apologies. I should have started off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So can we go ahead and do that? And who would like to volunteer? Don't hurry up and rush your hands up.
Sorry, 13, not 14.
Okay. Cynthia, would you lead us?
Please stand. Place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. So we do have quorum, and we're going to go ahead, close out agenda item number 1, and move on to agenda item number 2, which is general public comment on non-agenda items. I do have speaker cards in front of me, and if anyone wants to make a comment, 2 minutes, please fill out a speaker card so that we can go ahead and do this. So I'm going to start off by this is someone new to our coming here, Lori Jacobs.
Happy New Year, Board.
Happy New Year.
I would like to speak on my extreme disappointment and shame on the Port of Los Angeles on the way they handled the situation with the Cabrillo Youth Water Sports Center. If you're not familiar with it, I'm not going to go into great detail, but the Scout organization that's been managing that for a long time was really jerked around by the port, specifically Mike Galvin, for quite a long time, made it sound like they were going to renew their lease. And our council member, in good faith, was able to get the sailing, Olympic sailing down there. And because of that, the port quickly put together this pathway to podium and forced the Scouts out of there. The Scouts tried to negotiate to get an extension. They own the building there. In case you're not familiar, for many, many years, besides Scouts, and most of you know that I'm a lifetime Girl Scout, besides Scout events, there are school events there and community organizations and lifeguard training, and some of the schools do their swim training. They have completely shut it down, boarded it up. They don't even have an agreement set up yet with the pathway to podium. They could have let the programs run longer. So a lot of our youth who were so anxious to get off their computers and off their phones and doing outdoor activities have now had this removed from them. There are kids who've never even seen the ocean and been able to go to programs there at the Scout Center. I'm not against sailing, but I wonder if our council member would have pushed this hard if he knew this was going to be the result. The Scouts were also stuck. They couldn't do any improvements over the last couple of years because they didn't know if they were going to get their lease renewed. They were month to month, so they were kind of stuck. The pool needed to be resurfaced. Other improvements needed to be made. And many Scouts donated time to try and fix those things, but the organization couldn't put money into something unless they knew they were going to continue to be there. So the Port of LA very quickly did this, little to no community engagement, because they knew they were going to get pushback from our community. This is a gem to have a place like that for our youth to go to. I've run several events there. My daughter did her Girl Scout Gold Award there, teaching about safety. I am just so very sad and disillusioned. And if it reminds you of when the port quickly shut down the Ports of Call restaurant, and they didn't need to shut it down that soon. Okay, and this is the same kind of thing. So now it's boarded up, and all the youth programs that had been scheduled for the first part of this year have had to be canceled. I don't know what we can do about it, but I want to let you know how disappointed not only I am, but most of the community. Just read the social media. Shame on the Port of LA. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to speaker card number 2, Vic Christensen, speaking as a stakeholder.
Crazy guy. Okay, got a couple things. One, if you haven't already heard by now, a San Pedro institution, Bike Palace, was gutted by fire. The last I heard, though I haven't seen anything definitive, on their Facebook page it says the doors will be closed for the foreseeable future, which I think is kind of obvious, but I haven't seen anything definitive one way or the other if they're planning on rebuilding or closing permanently. There is a GoFundMe campaign to help out the employees. Last I checked, it was at about $68,000 or something like that, maybe more by now. So if you're interested in helping out there, then you can go online and find that. Next thing, Vincent Thomas Bridge. Deck replacement open houses are occurring on Thursday, January 22nd from 6 to 8 at the Wilmington Recreation Center. Monday, February 2nd from 6 to 8 virtually. And Monday, February 9th at 5:30 to 7:45 p.m. at our local San Pedro library. That information is also posted on our Neighborhood Council website, so you can find it there. And also regarding the bridge, Vincent Thomas Bridge, on the 14th and 15th, that's this week, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., if I recall correctly, the hours. The southbound direction, one lane will be closed for pothole repairs from the Ferry Street on-ramp to the Harbor Boulevard off-ramp. So keep that in mind if you're planning on traveling the bridge. That's all.
Thank you. Next person is Rachel Bronke.
Hello, I am here to speak out along with 70% of the entire United States population against the U.S. aggression against Venezuela, the bombing of their capital, and the capture of the president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores. The United States killed 100 people in 30 minutes in Venezuela. And what I just heard about the closing of a youth center here, so typical in this country nowadays. Venezuela would never do that to their youth. We often talked in this neighborhood council about homelessness. Venezuela in the last 10 years has built 4 million homes for their low-income people. And the people protesting there are the real estate industry. And so time and time again, we're seeing that other countries who deal with their problems, healthcare, education, peace, housing, 90% of Venezuelan food is grown in Venezuela. Sustainability. We are crushing these models abroad so that we don't know that these models are possible in the world. We need to be working together in peace and solving our problems of all humanity together. We cannot let any institution, any government, any administration use our military to be attacking other people around the world anymore. I encourage everybody in Los Angeles City to go to all their neighborhood councils and to speak publicly about this, because it's time that the left hand know what the right hand is doing. There's no such thing anymore as domestic and international issues. There's no such thing as local not having anything to do with national or international. We all must get it and be working in the same direction. So peace with Venezuela, peace with Cuba, who's next on the agenda, peace with all of Latin America. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the speaker card is Maddie Lee.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And why are you here today?
Wait,
What?
I don't know.
Okay. Maddie is here because she is. Are you a Girl Scout?
I'm a Girl Scout.
Ooh. And what is this blue vest for? What kind of Girl Scout are you?
I'm a Daisy Girl Scout.
And how old are you?
I am 6, and I'm going to be 7 in 6 days.
Yeah. And now, what is this form that you brought here that you wanted to bring to the neighborhood council?
This is a cookie form here.
And what season is it right now? What are you selling?
It's Girl Scout cookie season.
Yeah. And did you say that you wanted to bring this form for the people here to look at, and if they were interested in, what would they do with it? What would they do if they saw something on this form that they wanted? You don't know. Would they put their names on it? Would they order cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to go ahead and give this to somebody at the beginning?
Yeah.
And if they're interested, what are they going to do? Are they going to write their names here?
Yeah.
They're going to write their names. And what else are they going to write on here?
They're going to write something over here.
Like their address. You could write Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. And what would they put in the boxes of cookies that they liked? Would they mark that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who else in the city have you already sold to? Who
I
bought cookies from you?
I have sold some cookies to people at my mom's work. and Tim.
Yes.
And also to some of my friends.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Maddie.
Payment upon receipt of cookies in February.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one more speaker card, so if anyone out there would like to speak, fill one out real quick. So, last card for Gwendolyn Henry as a stakeholder.
Hi, I didn't expect to speak today, but it's with heavy heart. All weekend, as many others have experienced and watched on the news, the happenings in Minnesota and the death of a woman. Something else that has gone on is that there is a very large Native American community there, Ojibwe. And many of that community have also been accosted, abused, and also have detained, hurt, harmed, terrified, and without being able to provide their tribal identification. And sometimes they do bring in their tribal identification and produce it. They are not believed, and they are still detained. These are some we already know here of the atrocities, and it's getting to a new point. And I am hoping that this neighborhood council could consider starting a statement of some type, a stronger statement, a thoughtful statement about what's happening, because this is now getting to a new level. One thought that I have is to actually appeal to the actual ICE officers and take a different tack that's actually been taken out in the news, and that is that every traffic officer out there, this is their jurisdiction, not ICE's. They have no training in this. It's not something that they normally do. They shouldn't be doing it. That's not their constitutional duty. But every traffic officer out there does know that they are heavily trained on protecting themselves. There are protocols, there are laws that it's a lot of training. Every Minnesota traffic officer goes through this. And these ICE officers, when you see them act, there's not even common sense in protecting yourself. Reaching into moving vehicles. All sorts of insanity out there. They aren't trained. And I don't know if there is a lawsuit in this or a beseech that some entity put in a lawsuit for the ICE officers that they are negligently uninformed, untrained, and they are actually getting harmed in such a way that their lives are at risk and everyone around them is at heightened risk. If the ICE officer who actually did the shooting, who apparently, reportedly, was ripped down the arm, put his body into a moving vehicle, and he was harmed because of something that no traffic officer would ever do. This is an anathema. It's not even logical. And once again, Kristi Noem and the DHS are not providing any training, not even the basic tools of how to announce that they are going to approach a vehicle with a bullhorn. Those protocols. It goes on. So I'm hoping that we can provide some kind of statement on several different tacks of different types of actions and how we feel about this, because it is still here in our neighborhood, Glendale, San Fernando Valley. They just had another round of this.
Gwen?
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. Okay, I have no other requests for a speaker on non-agenda items. So at this time, we're going to close that agenda item. This is agenda item number 2. Move on to agenda item number 3, and that will be Lori Jacobs doing our homelessness liaison report.
So first of all, I'd like to thank Melanie for presenting my December report while I was out of town. I appreciate it. Thank you, Melanie. I listened to the recording, and you did a great job. Appreciate it. What I'm passing out now is an addendum to my report. I've been traveling, so I haven't been as immersed, and I came across this information here, which is an update on the Measure A budget. And as Melanie shared with you last month, it's just dismal on what's happening with the budget. Tomorrow, the Board of Supervisors are meeting. They're discussing the budget more. And if you want to listen to it, you can listen to it online. It's at 9:30 in the morning. So I've listed specific services here that are being zeroed out. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Housing navigation, okay? If we don't have housing navigators, we can't get people out of the interim housing in place with permanent supportive housing. Homelessness prevention, we've talked about that for several months here. TAY services, that's 18 to 24-year-olds. Regional coordination, intensive case management. Intensive case management is so necessary. If we get somebody off the streets and placed in a home, they still need management. They don't have life skills to live on their own, and there'll be no retention. Okay, master leasing, which is critical here, and homelessness incentives. So the intensive case management and master leasing have been cut down. Main thing I'd like to share with you guys is most of you know the homeless count is next week. If you haven't signed up yet, I've had this information on my report for several months for you to go ahead and register. I'm sure Jocelyn will be able to add some more information. We could always use more people to help. The more people out there, the less tracks we all each have to cover. And it's important. We visually count our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness. There's about 150 deployment sites throughout the city of LA. I'm sorry, the county of LA. Okay. And so the deployment site is at the Chic Impact Office on 6th Street. You go there at 8 p.m. If you follow all the directions and you do the training ahead of time, download the app ahead of time so it doesn't slow you down. Ray, John, and I have been a team for a few years now, so I hope some of you will consider doing that if you are available to do that. Something I threw on here that I put on our website a couple months ago is an acronym glossary. So many of my reports have acronyms, which I normally tell you what it means. But if you're looking to do any research on this, it's helpful sometimes to know what all the terms mean. And then I have the usual list of resources. So I won't be here next month, also traveling again. And so I won't have a report. It's becoming extremely taxing to me and emotionally and mentally draining to continue to do this work and feel like we're pedaling backwards and that homelessness is going to continue to increase. I'll do the best I can to remain as your homelessness liaison, pass on information. I just don't enjoy coming here and telling you how horrible things are. I'll just close with, remember, think about what maybe you can do for one person, one family. I made the list of food resources for the winter programs. Just try and watch your neighbors, see, you never know when one of your neighbors is one paycheck away from losing their housing. So network, reach out to people, be kind. My message for this year, my 2 words, my mantra are going to be cope and hope. And I have my Jane Goodall hope shirt because we have to cope with everything that's going on, everything that Gwen just shared about. These are all hard things for us to deal with. And the only way we can deal with them is to continue to reach out to each other, be kind, and try to remain hopeful. And it's hard to remain hopeful when the news is dismal every single day. But this neighborhood council can make a difference in our community, and let's continue to do that. So that's it for my report this month.
Thank you, Lori. I say this all the time. I am so grateful of the effort that you put into these reports because I learn a lot from them, and I really appreciate the work that you do. And so I'm going to go around ask if anyone around the table has any questions or thoughts or any words of wisdom. Gwen?
Homelessness is one of the hardest things I can imagine having to deal with. Your voice is critical. I really do hope you don't feel that you need to step away from it. I hope you realize that what you're doing is so critical. It's just, and it's really, really appreciated. Deeply appreciated.
I hear you. I just feel powerless and small. these days. And so I looked all of you guys. We have to feed off each other to, when one person's down, to bring the other person up. I can tell you, I traveled last month. I'm going to keep traveling a lot more. That's what retirement's supposed to be. But I was able to pull myself away from all this stuff for several weeks and recharge. And I'm going to keep doing that because we also have to keep practicing self-care. We can't fall into this dark hole that the news brings us to. So, but I appreciate that. Did you have a question or you just a comment?
Well, along those lines, in order to pick myself up, we went to Long Beach, and there was a Bowie festival over at Alex's Bar, and it was all optimistic songs, and it was fantastic, and it was a real hug fest. So
music is always a pickup.
Yeah, so find those moments.
Thank you,
Melanie.
I just have a comment. I just want to say that I really appreciate your reports that you do and what you've done, because even me 10 years ago joining the neighborhood council and my thought process that I had then versus what I've learned from you and where I've ended up now, I've learned so much and changed so much in that process that, and it's a lot because of you and what you've shown me and the information that you brought, as well as the, just kind of the guidance too. And I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you. You've always been very open to learning about the truths of homelessness, that most people out on the streets are not there by choice. Nobody wants to live in squalor. They just don't. But a lot of the solutions that are offered to them are not reasonable. And so, that's then people get a bad rap. But I've always appreciated that you always did want to learn. And it's easy to point a finger and be judgmental. It's a lot harder to really listen to somebody. And if you see somebody asking for money at the store, my suggestion is, can I buy you some food? Money, is probably going to go up their nose or be a beer or whatever. And ask them if they want help, and that's the best I can do. So, but travel does help. And I will say too that housing is a human right, and in fact I've embroidered it on the back. Hand embroidered, Judge. Remember that housing is a human right. Everybody deserves to have some place to put their head at night. Thanks, guys.
Hang on, Lori. No other questions from around the table? Any questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
Okay, we're now closing out agenda item number 3, and we're going to move on to agenda item number 4, and this is our elected governmental and public safety representatives. Now, just hopefully without objection, I'm going to be asking one of our speakers to speak about Phillips 66. And before we end, we'll talk about Phillips 66 at the end. So, I'm going to start off with Drew. Any reports, Drew, from CD 15? No, I'm sorry. The 1-5. No, the 1-5.
We're the 1-5, we're CD15. It's okay. We can go by both, the answer to both. But yes, in community, we are the 1-5. So I want to talk about encampment cleanups for a moment. Back on December 4th, the encampments on the slopes behind Gaffey Place neighborhood, between Gaffey Place and the 110 South, were cleaned. Unfortunately, several days back, they did go and create another encampment, and there was a fire over the weekend that the fire department had to put out. It has been repopulated, as I have said, and we've again requested from Caltrans to clear it. We've sent them the elevated community concerns due to the fires that happened there on Sunday, and I also met with our state representatives from Laura Richardson's office and from Mike Gibson's office to talk about that. So we're monitoring that. Paraiso has been clear. As you guys know, there was an issue with several RVs with people that were creating issues in the Paraiso area. We changed the parking overnight to no overnight parking at all whatsoever between 10 a.m. and 6 a.m. And the last of the RVs that were there that was creating problems for the businesses has departed. So we also have not seen any encampments on Basin, and the encampments have also been cleared on Miraflores. As a reminder, we send services to every single encampment. We offer services to every person that experiences homelessness. Whether they choose to accept it or not is their business, but we will always offer it. Caltrans closures. It was touched a little bit upon by Vic during public comment, but today the Port of Los Angeles opened new northbound on-ramp to the 110 and the new southbound off-ramp from the 47 at Front Street Harbor Boulevard as it enters a new phase of construction near the Vincent Thomas Bridge in San Pedro. Along with new ramps, the port debuted a newly realigned Knoll Drive to access Knoll Hill. Starting Friday, January 23rd and extending through August 36th, 2026, crews will close both the northbound State Route 47 on-ramp and the northbound State Route 47 off-ramp at Harbor Boulevard. So it's essentially the Harbor Boulevard off-ramp from southbound 110. As construction continues, the following detours are in place. Detour A, for southbound 110 to Harbor Boulevard, exit at Channel Street and Pacific Avenue and continue to Front Street. Detour B, Pacific Avenue to northbound 47, take Pacific Avenue to Channel Street to southbound 110 to northbound 47. So it's kind of like a loop. And then Detour C, Harbor Boulevard to northbound 47, take Front Street on Harbor Boulevard to First Street to Gaffey, and then you can take northbound State Route 47 that way. So essentially all the on-ramps and off-ramps from Harbor Boulevard to the bridges are going to be closed. But the northbound 110 will be reopened. Those with questions may leave a message on the public phone line at 310-732-7778, and calls will be returned within 24 hours. And also mentioned, there are going to be some daytime single-lane closures of the Vincent Thomas Bridge for pothole repairs and finger joint monitoring following the recent storms. Crews will close one lane in the southbound direction between Ferry Street on-ramp and the Harbor Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Wednesday, January 4th and Thursday, January 15th. And one lane will remain open to traffic. Caltrans reminds drivers to exercise increased caution near this closure and slow for the cone zone. Miramare, the Piazza Miramare is finally opening up. We are so excited. This is the new plaza that is located next to San Pedro City Hall at 7th Street. It's actually at the corner of 6th Street between Beacon and Harbor. Please join us this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Piazza Miramare as we celebrate our ribbon cutting and grand opening. We look forward to seeing everyone there. It's going to be hosted by our office, the Little Italy Association of Los Angeles, and I believe the Consul General of Italy will be there as well to celebrate. I wanted to talk about motions from last week that we introduced, and then I'll be done. Motion 26-0020 is to declare 643 South Pacific Avenue surplus. That's the old Croatian Cultural Center, and it will be sold at auction. We do have some local buyers that are interested. The Croatian Cultural Center was interested, or the Croatian Hall was interested. I know that the Chamber's interested. So we will see how that progresses. But yes, it will not be it will not be considered city property once it is sold. And the last one, 25-1253, regarding the animal shelter visiting policy for elected officials and their staff. The council member late last year, went to go visit the animal shelter in response to concerns from the community over an isolation room. When he went, he was not allowed access. And he said, "What is this? I'm an elected official. I want to conduct oversight. I should be able to access anywhere I want." And so he asked the report to provide, he asked the animal services to provide clear guidelines on what is their position regarding visits by elected officials and their staff. And they came back saying, we need 48 hours advance notice to schedule an appointment. And so it was heard in council on Friday, and he's like, what are you talking about, 48 hours? That is ridiculous. Go to the commission and figure it out. So he sent it off, a new motion to the commission, where they have to debate it and come back with something better. I can go ahead and read his motion. It's very short, but it is great. It says, I move that the matter of the Arts, Parks, Libraries, and Community Enrichment Committee report relative to a Department of Animal Services report on the current rules for allowing elected officials and their staff into Department of Animal Services facilities, including non-public areas, item number 2 on today's council agenda, be amended to adopt the following. Direct the Animal Services Commission to explore and recommend a policy to ensure timely access without a formal appointment process for elected officials and their staff to the Department of Animal Services facilities, including non-public areas, and that the Commission's review include A, identification of the existing policy or policies that govern such access, B, clarification of which body or bodies have oversight authority to interpret, revise, or update these policies, and C, recommendations on how the policy can be structured to meet oversight needs and remain flexible enough to address the varying circumstances and needs of individual shelters. Over the break, there was an issue of flooding at the shelter. I visited the shelter immediately. I spoke with volunteers and shelter staff to identify solutions. The councilman had pledged $1,000 towards any sort of measures that could be taken to protect the kennels. He later went and also paid a visit with a local contractor who had volunteered his time, and we will be installing some rubber weatherproofing at the bottom of every single individual kennel, which will prevent any rainwater from flowing into each kennel.
Thank you.
Of course. The councilman is personally paying for that out of his budget. It's not coming from the Animal Services budget. And we're also taking a look. There is $900,000 that is currently appropriated to make improvements and expand the parking lot. We are going to look at if we need to take some of that and improve the conditions of the shelter pets. So that's what's going on for now. I do want to give a shout out to Jacqueline Hamilton from the mayor's office. She's the deputy mayor that oversees animal services. She was instrumental in helping me get access right away and coordinate the visit the very first day that we knew that there were issues. So shout out to her. Thank you. Yeah. Is there any questions?
Anyone from around the table? I do have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of stretching a term that has been used for us as elected officials. Can we also, as neighborhood council people, make these unannounced visits or these visits to the animal shelter?
Or participate in one of them?
I will ask our legislative team to see if they can clarify that with the commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are elected.
Yeah, I know that right now it's like pertaining to, I don't know, I don't really know how they're interpreting it, so I'm going to have to check that.
Right, I understand that, but I think...
Because it doesn't say specifically council members, it says elected officials, so...
Yeah, so...
Our liaison.
We do have a liaison for that, for the animal shelter. We have the animal shelter in our area.
Yeah.
So
Listen, I'm happy to take a liaison for a visit anytime. I'm happy to coordinate a visit and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I talked to Christina, and I asked her at the Christmas party, her Christmas little get-together, I was there, and I talked to her, and I asked her if she had been able to get into the animal shelter yet, and they will not let her come in for a visit.
Wow. So she can't just walk in, or is she trying to go in when they're closed?
She's tried to get an appointment and tried to go in, and they will not let her in.
Wow. Okay, well, you can put her in touch with me. I can talk to her.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Drew. Any questions from the audience? Lori?
Yeah, that's not a question. I just wanted to say that today I come across the Vincent Palm Bridge. I took the new ramp onto Harvard Boulevard. It was beautiful. It was so much safer than trying to fight to get over and fight with the trucks. So whoever designed that, right, it was a little backed up because they only had one lane open once you get onto Harvard Boulevard. But right now, I felt a lot safer taking place.
Awesome. I want to remind everybody to use 311. We've had recent rains. There have been potholes. You 311 those potholes, I guarantee you within 24 to 48 hours they will get filled. We have filled thousands of potholes in the recent rains. So any issues, 311 bulky items, put them out the day before trash day and also submit on 311. Yeah, Chris?
That actually reminds me of something I actually brought up at the executive committee meeting. Excuse me. I personally, I don't want to just ring my own bell or whatever, but I've had some issues with LA 311, and I understand that essentially you go to the website or call in or you use the app, and then it kind of fans out towards whichever departments address your thing. And so I've had issues with service not being fulfilled, requests for things that have been sort of, I understand that especially after storms.
Can you give me some examples of those things?
Well, for instance, down palm fronds not being removed for well over a month.
So down palm fronds are an issue. So the street services actually is responsible for cleaning up the down palm fronds because the fronds cannot go in like the green waste. It has to go in the trash. So we have a separate, and you know who does it is the street sweeping crews. So they come and pick them up when the weather does not permit there to be street sweeping. So what our clean team is doing is going and cleaning up the palm fronds if they're not collected in a timely manner. So we have waited like 4 to 6 weeks for fronds to get picked up. It is an issue. Please reach out to me about where they are, and we can have our clean team address it.
I appreciate that. And really, it's more about, now that I understand how that works, I can understand why it would take so long. And that was, my question was sort of, when you register the request and everything, it makes it seem like, I actually think I got an email saying that it should have been fulfilled within 1 to 2 business days, and of course it wasn't, but for reasons that are now clear.
And it'll say pending removal, but it's pending forever.
Right. No, and then it's really, I think it's more important, I think it's kind of been our experience with the Neighborhood Council, is that if you understand the process, then whatever delay or inconveniences makes a lot more sense. The other part of it was with sanitation. In my neighborhood, this is Haverhill area, I guess. There's a company called Athens Services, which I believe is a city contractor.
Yeah, so they do multifamily units.
Right.
Yeah.
And they take dumpsters, large bins, from other streets, 7th Street, 9th Street, and they put them in the red curb in front of the fire hydrant, for instance, in front of my house. And one time I was accosted by a Athens worker who told me that I was not allowed to put my recycling in their blue bin or trash in the black bin. And I don't think that's the case, but I was wondering if, I was wondering why it is that they're bringing dumpsters from other parts of the neighborhood and leaving them in a central spot. I think it's so that their truck can come pick it up, but I didn't know if that was...
Yeah, so the issue is not that they're doing that. The issue is that they're doing it on a red curb in front of a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
So if you can shoot me an email, let me know where that is. So we live in a condo building, and we have Athens, and they do take all of our bins, and they put them in a central location because our garage is not big enough for a trash truck to come into. Okay. So they send a tiny truck with a little forklift. Right. They pick it up, they take it, and then the trash truck comes and empties all of them one by one. And then at the end of the day, the little truck comes and returns them all to where they're supposed to go.
That's what I thought was happening.
It could be the issue that they don't want you putting trash or recycling because maybe they already emptied it, and then you're taking up somebody else's space of what they're paying for their service.
If he'd said that, then it would have made a lot more sense, but thank you.
Yeah, usually they don't have the best tact on the ground and they just want to get their job done, so I'm happy to clarify. But if you will let me know where that is, we can let them know that our concern is that not that they're doing it, but that they're doing it in front of a fire hydrant.
Sure, yeah, that's 8th and Walker. I'll send you a photo or something.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Adrian, and then Gwen.
Hi, Drew. I just want to thank you for the encampment cleanup around that area. I do have a question. In between Channel and Miraflores, there's sort of that alley.
Yes.
There, I will say, probably before the new, December-ish, there was an individual there with a tent and everything. After the storms during the winter, it's all the winds just kind of moved it everywhere. Some of the stuff is still there.
Are you talking about up on the hill that's right above the...
It's so when you're on Miraflores and then you make a right.
Yeah, so it's right up there and there's a fence and there's a hill and it's in the corner. We have a cleanup scheduled for that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen.
I don't know when it's going to be, but we do. It's going to be the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that the palm fronds became part of the discussion because actually the Community Forestry Advisory Committee was going to do a little analysis of a couple of items regarding tree trimming and the rest of it. So I actually spoke with one of the service people who were coming to pick up the palm fronds. So I was told very specifically that they will only pick up the palm fronds for that one customer in front of their one address, and they will not take care of the entire street.
You need to put in the request. So what I'll do is I'll put in the address, but I will also put in the comments, fronds are located from X to Y. Or
I've done that before, and I asked them very specifically if that is what we have done in the past, and they said they have been told otherwise, that they will be very, very strict on that address.
So one thing that we have been seeing is, like, thankfully neighbors have been kind of piling up fronds in one specific location, and that has been helpful.
Yeah. West Santa Cruz and Sepulveda Street.
Yes, I have reported those multiple times. So I think we'll probably have our clean
I've
team
actually
here.
been the good citizen who tried to do the entire street on many occasions, and a lot of my neighbors say, "Oh, I'm just putting them in the green bins."
Yeah, unfortunately they can't go in the green. They should be going in the black bins.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I will further inform my neighbors on that.
Yeah.
The other thing is that bees, the bee team, the bee removal team.
Yeah.
For so
hives and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. I happen to have, unfortunately, a tree that what is it? Apiarist? What's the term?
Beekeeper? Yeah.
It's impossible to extract them, but more often than not, it's usually one of the Africanized queens that come out, and it's a mess. So it's in a tree right in the
Is it in a street tree?
It's a street tree.
Okay.
So this is the deal. San Pedro is at the very, very, very bottom, dangly end of the city of Los Angeles. I have found out from the team, and I was going to put this into a report, there is only one bee tending team for the entire city of Los Angeles.
That is true.
One.
Yep.
And what is happening is they may be getting the tickets, but they are continually being distracted because there are always fallen trees, or during tree trimmings they come across a bee thing. And so they are called immediately and taken away from their list of things.
If you can send me an email, I'll elevate it and try to get them out.
But the last bit is the reason it took 3 months and a lot of pestering to get the bee ticket on mine is because San Pedro is the very, very last possible place that they will go to accomplish these tickets, because they will try, because of their limited thing, to go for the area that has the most tickets, and then just go boom, 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 boom.
Right.
And San Pedro is sorely ignored.
So the councilman is very adamant about us in the 1-5 getting the same services as everybody else. And I know how you feel is how even some people from Wilmington feel about San Pedro. San Pedro gets everything. How come so we have worked very hard to open up offices in each one of our communities so that people feel that they have an address and have somebody to talk to in every one of our communities. That being said, if it's still an issue, please reach out. In the future, don't feel like you have to wait 3 months. Reach out to me. That's what the council office is here for.
This is part of a series of tree-related things, and the new transformation with the 311 ticket. There were a lot of bumps and silos and things like that.
Gwen,
Anyway.
perhaps maybe this can be an offline conversation.
Yeah.
See-
Okay.
Call me.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions from around the table? No?
All right,
Any
thank you,
questions?
guys. I don't-
Any
Anybody
questions
from
from the audience? I see no hands. Drew, thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for humoring Maddie today. She, of her own volition, asked to come to the neighborhood council meeting, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Drew.
Thanks. We have our LAPD representative, Senior Lead Officer Baloney. And Officer Baloney, I want to say that I was really impressed with your picture on the dynamic duo thing that's going. I mean, you really showed your.
Someone's really got the AI down, but no, it's a funny picture, funny. But okay, hello everybody. Good evening. I'm Officer Baloney, LAPD Harbor Division, senior lead officer for Northwest San Pedro. So some of the good things is, so for this crime stats, I have not only for month over month comparing November to December, but I have year over year comparing 2024 to 2025. And across the board, it's pretty good. So homicides from 2024 to 2025 we have a decrease from 4 to 1. So that's 3 lives that we didn't lose this year. Robbery, we do have a decrease from about 14% year over year. And then, let's see here, burglaries, month over month are down from 8 to 3. So that's a 60% decrease month over month. And year over year, it looks like a 22% decrease. Motor vehicle thefts, we did get hit very hard in November with vehicle thefts. We had 17. But in December, we only had 3. So that was pretty good right there. And over year, it's 16%. The theft from motor vehicles, we did have an increase. I want to say just because of the holidays. A lot of times, some people leave their valuables or something in the car. They're in a hurry. They're not paying attention. So in November, we only had 1, but which is pretty good compared to what we usually get hit with that hard. But in December, we had 9. But overall, month over month, we have a 21% decrease in crime, and year over year, it's an 11% decrease. So on the paper I have, it's color coded. I sent it to all my neighborhood watches too, but there's a lot of green, and green means good. So that's good. And I don't have much to really report. I know there's a lot of sad stuff going on in the world and everywhere, but the one good thing I do have is the month of December is an extremely busy month for our office. It's called a helping badge. So on top of all the other events that we go to and attend and help out with, the helping badge one is pretty intense, if you will, because we spend like basically a whole week, 2 weeks, just setting the whole front of Harbor Station up with lights and basically movie set quality material and decorations. And so we had 350 kids and families come to Harbor Division, and we have our community room that's full of toys. They're able to get the toys and come outside, get some cocoa and coffee, and then see Santa. So that was actually an increase from 250 the year prior, so 350 this time. And it was a really great event. The community loved it, and it was really good for the children. But that is, and then also CPAB, so our Community Police Advisory Board. We're going to have it this Thursday, the 15th at 6 p.m. at Harbor Station in the community room if anybody would like to attend. But that's all I have, and if there's any questions.
Melanie?
I don't know, because you were out, if you're aware, last week in our area, there was a beautiful red Corvette stolen. Beautiful red Corvette at 3:30 in the morning stolen.
I heard about this one, yeah.
Huh?
I think I spoke to the owner about it.
And then this morning, another car was stolen on Bloomwood. So we've been having this rash in the Taper area and stuff of car thefts all of a sudden, and it's just kind of, and they're hitting it like 3:30 in the morning seems to be the time. The magic hour between 3:30, 4 a.m. is the magic hour when they're hitting. Because I've been keeping track of when they've been happening. Everybody's reporting that the car this morning was at 3:30 this morning. So it's very interesting that somebody's prowling around in the middle of the night for vehicles to take.
Yeah. Our area, Harbor Division specifically, gets hit pretty hard with actual vehicle thefts. We're kind of known for that almost. It's really bad, but we have our good months, we have our bad months. The good thing is for people to report them. One good thing that we do have access to now is a camera system that's around various areas of the city. So like the major entryways and exits, and our officers have access to this system, and it's very quick. Like literally, like I watch officers, they're like, "Hey, we have this pattern of this vehicle that was stolen, going up and down this street this time of day," and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're in pursuit of it. So it's a really good system. We've actually been able to make an arrest or many arrests on it, and our vehicle theft stats, they're getting better.
Yeah.
Just the unfortunate part is that we still have vehicle thefts occurring.
And then another thing is for the council to know, because we've approved letters before for Harbor Highlands Park, and through collaboration, and Officer Valoni and I have gone back and forth with Rec and Park about the bathrooms as far as a fix for those bathrooms was the magnetic locks just were not a thing. They just couldn't, those locks, they were constantly breaking them, very costly to repair. And Officer Valoni had suggested, and I had suggested, a key lock on it. Oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do it. Well, guess what they did? There is a key lock on those bathrooms where they come, Rec and Park employee, in the morning and unlock those bathrooms. And at night, at 8 o'clock, they show up and they lock those bathrooms. And we've had no more problems.
That's good.
So collaboration works if you keep pressure on them.
I agree.
Good. Any other questions from around the table? Yes.
Sort of
Angela.
seems insignificant compared to auto theft, but we've had over in the Tarragona area, I think it's a TikTok challenge maybe?
Oh, God.
Teenagers kicking in your front
Oh,
door.
geez. I saw that on the news. Yeah,
What?
That's not good.
So he backed up, like we have a Ring camera and his face never showed, but he backed up, kicked the door open and left, and then I emailed Diana Nave, and apparently a couple other people in the neighborhood had had the same thing happen, and I was just wondering if you knew if this was a larger thing going on in Vancouver.
Angela, could you speak in the, we totally missed what the challenge is?
Teenagers kicking doors open
Oh, wow.
at night, so it happened to us and a couple other people in the neighborhood.
So what she was saying was a TikTok challenge. So some of these younger folks go on the social media and then they film themselves doing the crime. It's not the smartest thing to do, but what I tell people, this is the first time I'm actually hearing of it, and I'm kind of disappointed it's happening down here because it's like we do not need this. People don't need their front doors kicked in,
because they like to copy.
Yeah, exactly. So just you got to get it reported though. Whenever it happens, get it reported, and then we just let the detectives do the work if they can track them down. Because if they keep doing it and it becomes a big enough issue, the right people will look into it. Okay.
They did come out and they took a report. I just wanted to document it.
Yeah. No, you have to. You have to. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Gwen?
So my little thing has been about the new laws around e-bikes. But there's a lot of new laws that are, law enforcement related that have come up in 2026. Is there any possibility that maybe at the CPAB meeting there might be a dissemination of the information, and so we can all kind of bomb the neighborhoods with that good stuff and reinforce that?
So we have Officer Rowe. He comes around and he will disseminate information and some statistics and stuff, and he's pretty good about it. I don't know if he's going to be here on the 15th, and I don't know if the captain is going to say anything about it, but I'll talk to my supervisor and see if they have anything to bring up about it. I was talking to Melanie actually earlier today in regards to the e-bikes. They are an issue, but thankfully this year, I think, is the beginning of being able to impound these bikes now. And they have to meet these guidelines of if they're impoundable and enforceable, I was also telling Melanie, I talked to an officer who actually tried to stop one of these e-bikes, and unfortunately the rider wanted to play games, and they would go from one corner to the next, flipping the cop off, and it just ended up in this game of cat and mouse, and eventually the officer was like, okay, well, this is getting too risky, we're going to not do this anymore. So there's that attribute, which I think we talked about before. But again, the department, it is an issue because you also do have traffic collisions happening, and some people are unfortunately passing away due to these accidents, and they're being severely injured. Like, there's a lot of accidents that a lot of people just don't know about because they're not in the news and stuff, so a lot of people lose their legs and stuff. But there is the QR code for traffic enforcement. What I really want people to do is submit the tickets for the QR code. It goes straight to South Traffic Division, and that way they can have it logged and documented as like, hey, we have this many complaints about it. This is the resource that we need to provide here, here, and here. And that's the best. That's literally just the best thing that can be done. And they have motor officers that can be more maneuverable and kind of get on these folks a little bit better. So,
Kelly.
Well, I was going to say, you guys must be doing something right, because I have seen more and more of the children that are riding the bikes with helmets on. I actually noted 12 riders yesterday, and out of the 12, only one did not have a helmet. So I figured somebody's doing something somewhere to be more effective with it. And I'm grateful for that, because I just watched these, and these are kids. These are kids that were at our school just within the last couple of years. And I'm looking at these young boys, and I'm like, and they're still not driving with traffic correctly. But, well, actually they were. They were coming from actually Peck Park here. the majority of the ones I saw yesterday. So you guys are doing something right. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank
you.
Please, just.
No,
It's sad that it takes deaths and stuff like you said, because like I teach at 7th Street, and for a while we had those kids going down the hill, and it just took a couple of them dying, and now they're stopping. They stopped. So I'm grateful. Thank you for enforcing that, and at least they got helmets now. Let's just teach them the traffic laws.
Yeah, I definitely don't want my kids on them when they get older. I just no.
But 1 out of 12 I thought was pretty good without helmets. After like the last time I recorded it was like 10 kids and none of them had helmets.
Okay. Anyone from the audience have any questions for?
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Everybody. Have a good night.
Happy New Year.
Let's see. I have. Well, I see that there is a representative or someone sitting in the audience from the Port of Los Angeles. I just want to give. Oh, Jocelyn, I didn't see you. You know what? I see the podium. I did not see you. Sorry about that. Jocelyn, please forgive me. So I'm forgiven, right? Okay, good. And then, Lee, if you have anything to support, you could certainly come up.
You got to excuse him, Jocelyn. He's getting old.
No.
Who is?
That's one. All right, good evening, board members. Happy New Year. I hope you all had a wonderful and safe holiday season with family and loved ones. I know we got a lot of rain over the holidays. So just wanted to share a little bit about that. The mayor did activate a local emergency to make sure our city crews were working around the clock, making sure that our city was ready to respond to any emergencies. So during the Christmas weekend or around that area when we got our first round of like a rainstorm, we had a total of 340 traffic collisions in the city of Los Angeles. Sadly, we did have one fatality, but I just wanted to share that because I think it's really important to remember if it's raining and you absolutely have to drive, just remember to slow down, be safe. It's not about how fast you get there, but that you get there. And of course, it was during the holiday season, so I know there was a lot more transit drivers and people out trying to get to their families for the holidays, more than usual. So just wanted to share that. But in happier news, over the holiday season, our office did actually host a toy drive for families impacted by immigration activity. So I just wanted to give a huge thank you to the whole San Pedro community. Our San Pedro office was actually a drop-off site for the toy drive, and I was very grateful and just amazed at the support that we received. And we were able to secure 2 full bins, and this is on a very short time frame. Okay, I think we gave people like a week to bring toys in, but we were able to give those toys to families that were impacted by the immigration activity. So I just wanted to give a huge thank you to the community for that and for your support. I did already share and express to my deputy mayor that I want to make this an annual event, and hopefully this year we'll give folks more advance notice so we can make it bigger and better, and just bring more partners in to just make sure everyone is able to enjoy the holiday season. And also, I did want to share, so we all know it's coming up on Monday. We will be celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The mayor will be participating in the Kingdom Day Parade, which is an annual event in South LA. And we will be sending out, hopefully tomorrow, we will send out a form. We want to invite community to join the mayor and actually walk with her in the parade. Oh, wow. So I'll be sending that out to everyone. If anyone is interested in walking with her, you can fill out the form and we'll send you the information. It is going to be on Monday, 9 a.m. in South LA on, I believe, Crenshaw and MLK and Crenshaw. But just a fair warning, this is a very long parade. This is a 3-mile long parade. Wow. I've done 3 miles with the mayor in a parade before. It is no joke. But I'm also not that fit. But just if you did decide to come, just make sure you wear your walking shoes and just make sure you're physically and mentally prepared for that. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And also, it's just really important to show the city, especially at a time like this, that we are remaining united and
to celebrate Dr. King's legacy, especially during a time right now where things can feel incredibly heavy and divided. We want to show the city and beyond that we're going to stay united and we're going to get through these hard times supporting each other in our communities. And other news, we will be sending out a save the date, hopefully this week. The state of the city is quickly approaching. We were hoping to have it in January. It looks like we'll have it in early February. But the State of the City is an annual event where the mayor gives her State of the City address to the entire city. She kind of gives a full brief on what we've been able to accomplish and what's to come in the upcoming year. We are trying to have it earlier in the year this year because we all know what's coming this summer. It's the FIFA World Cup. So we will actually be having the State of the City at the Coliseum. So we are hoping to have a really big crowd and be able to open it up to even more people throughout our city to come and join us and just make sure that we're ready to host the world for our FIFA World Cup. So more to come on that. And then also, I know Lori already shared, but we do have the annual pig count or homeless count coming up next week. So please, if you haven't already, I do highly encourage you to volunteer and sign up. I will be the site lead for the San Pedro site and would appreciate any support. And as Lori said, the more volunteers we have, the less ground each volunteer has to cover, and the more good work we can do. We have a very tough year, or tough years coming up. We all know what's happening, or hopefully we all know what's happening with LASA and the department. And so we need the data and we need the numbers to be able to advocate for our city and for the policies and budget that we need in order to bring Angelinos inside and make sure that everyone is housed. So again, I encourage you to sign up at the LASA website. And if you're not able to, just help me share it out, share the website, share the information with anyone who might be interested. And then that is it, unless there's any questions.
Okay, great. See some hands. April?
When was the date on the homeless count? You said next week?
Yes, it's going to start on Tuesday, so I believe ours is the 22nd of January.
Tuesday the 22nd?
The 22nd.
It's on the top of my report in your back. Yeah, because there's 3 dates, the 20th, 21st, but ours is the 22nd. Yeah.
It's what?
There's 3 days, but ours is the 22nd.
It's the 22nd?
Yes. Of January. So next Thursday.
Any other questions? I see no questions from around the table. Out in the audience, any questions? Okay, Jocelyn, and my apologies. You're a right direct line with the
It's okay. That's my fault for sitting in the back.
I figured you did it very strategically.
No.
Thank you so much. Lee. Actually, Commissioner Lee from the Port of Los Angeles. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm Lee Williams. I'm with the Port of Los Angeles. I'm not here to represent the Port of Los Angeles in that I represent the community. I'm not an elected official. I am a fancy volunteer for the Port of LA. And my role, Drew just left, but my role is to support the 1-5 and the people of Los Angeles and making sure that our voices are heard within the Port of LA. The budget is about $1.7 billion. The spend that we have here locally is about $600 million that we're spending on different community projects. I am restricted. Is this being live cast or is this being recorded for posterity? Okay, there we go. So I am a little bit restricted in terms of some of the things I can say, because if there's anything that I have to vote on, I could end up forcing myself to be recused from different votes for the Port of LA. In fact, if something's agendized, I have to leave the room. So a lot of people get confused by that and wonder, why that's all about. But I have to be careful. I really honor my role and responsibility within the community, serving the community. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that, especially when it comes to important votes. So I wrote down a number of things that I could talk about. I'll let me know if that's important to you in order for me to talk about. So the 47 ramps. Nope. I would have voted against it because I like Conquer the Bridge, and they've added a quarter mile to Conquer the Bridge, and I'm a little upset about that. Like I said, the budget. I know Melanie was looking to work with the port
I already
to
did.
be
I
able
wrote
to
the
sit down.
report. I wrote
Yeah.
the report. I'll send it to you if you want.
Perfect. That's one. The last board meeting we had was about 3,800 pages. I don't need to read anymore.
No, you'll like the report I wrote.
Okay. Oh, the report in terms
For
of
the Budget Advocate
the
report,
summary.
yeah.
Great.
It's nice.
Okay. I'll read it. But if you have issues with the port, like Melanie was having some frustrations in terms of gaining access as a budget advocate, let me know. I'll make sure that you get an opportunity to be there. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that very having access. The port has a community representative who does not come.
Okay.
Period whatsoever.
Okay.
That has been not only an issue of this neighborhood council, it's been an issue of the other two San Pedro neighborhood councils.
Okay.
So I just want to make that, comment right there. That is a year that I've been involved, almost barely. So I just,
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see here. We've spent a bunch of money on different community-facing opportunities, especially waterfront development. We just had a big festival in Wilmington this weekend for Dia de los Reyes, which was the president's wife attended, and that was a lot of fun. We also had a event for the Terminal Islanders. A lot of folks don't know that 3,000 Japanese lived on Terminal Island, and they were forcibly removed and sent to internment camps. Not much of a distinction. Manzanar, and forgetting that history and not honoring that atrocity that happened to those folks, I think, is part of the reason why we're suffering through some things today. And so, one of the things as a commissioner, my goal is to make sure that we have educational tools to help inform the 2 to 3 million people that visit the LA waterfront and give them an opportunity to really understand the contributions of the different folks that built the port. The port, a lot of people don't know, the tuna industry really came from San Pedro, right? So the first canned tuna originated in San Pedro. That tuna industry would not have happened had it not been the Japanese long pole fishermen that taught the technique to bring in the volume of tuna that allowed the industry to blossom. So a lot of people don't know little things like that. My goal is and I hope to get some support from the neighborhood councils at some point, is I want to be able to honor the different communities within San Pedro and Wilmington that have contributed to the economic engine that is the port. That includes the Mexican Hollywood, the 500 families that were removed from near Rancho San Pedro in order to build the Vincent Thomas Bridge. That includes the Terminal Islanders and includes all the different communities that have contributed. So I want to try to figure out educational tools, especially along the promenade, that would facilitate that, because we get so many visitors and we get one chance to really educate them and help them understand what makes our community unique. Doubletree Hotel. Nope. Scout Camp.
What?
Please.
The Scout Camp.
Yes, please.
That one? Okay. All right. I'm visiting both of them tomorrow. The Doubletree I'm visiting because of the Olympics. I want to make sure that it's up to snuff to support the Croatian house. And then the Scout Camp I've been working with for the last, I think as soon as I became a commissioner, we started talking about the RFP process and what that looked like, and how the Scout Camp could position themselves to take advantage of that. I know that with the eviction process, I am not happy with how that was handled. The notice went out when I was in Japan. I was gone for the month of November, and so some of those notification tools happened while I was gone, and so I'm disappointed in that. But as Ray, I think, is saying, and I did meet with leadership from the different neighborhood councils to make sure that the port is responsive to the community. Unfortunately, Monday nights are difficult for Mike Galvin. He has kids that are involved in sports activities. But I know he is going to speak at the Coastal San Pedro and the Central San Pedro neighborhood councils next Tuesday. I think they're got combined on the same day because of the holiday. And so I'm going to look for an opportunity for him to speak to you as well. I think it's really important that the port be responsive and understand that some of their activities really impact the community. You had a question?
Actually, regarding that, there's a double whammy with this scout camp situation, is that the federal government, the Department of Defense, has decided to separate themselves from the scouts. And in a community where we have a very large military presence with military families with kids who rely on that continuity of the scouts, and it actually fosters something that when they're very mobile, going around. So I'm hoping that is something that can be very consciously discussed.
Yeah. So this last Tuesday, we had a special meeting at the Port of LA for the Harbor Commission. We had, like I said, the meeting consisted of about 4,000 pages in prep that we had to read before we voted on 19 resolutions. We spent about $400 million that day. And one of the closed session issues was the scout camp. So I can't really talk too much about that, but I will tell you, I will share a letter from one of the board of directors from the scout camp that was sent to us that thanked the port. Like I said, I'm not here to defend the port. I am not happy with how the rollout happened. I would like the community to be better informed. But there was a member of the only person that spoke on behalf of the scout camp did deliver a letter. I will share it with your board, and you can see from them their perspective of how the whole thing was handled. I will tell you that as it comes to just a second, Melanie, as it comes to the pathways to podium and to our involvement with the Olympics, that's going to be done in tangent in concert with the RFP process. I can't go in too deeply to the RFP, but I'm excited that the RFP will come out and the scout camp is encouraged to participate in that. I am disappointed that they were on a month-to-month lease for 10 years. I think that's ridiculous. It's not out of form for the port. We've had some terminal operators that were many years out of compliance, and so that's one thing that I've been really interested in making sure that we address, because as Lori had said, it's really difficult for an organization to invest in capital improvements if they don't have a lease.
Right.
You simply can't do it. And so being able to facilitate that's really important. Also, the port's going to put in about $5.5 million in that structure to make it a little bit safer. I am taking a tour of the facility tomorrow. I asked the port to extend the deadline for the eviction process, and they extended it to May 2nd. And then the scout camp came back at the last week of December and said, you know what, we don't need the time. Here's the keys. We're done. So just know that not everything you hear is true. Some of the things that you hear are probably worse than you might expect. Like I said, I'm not here to defend the port, but I am here to remind you that we're all volunteers, and we all have a commitment to this beloved city, and let's work together to make sure that we're doing it in the right way. Melanie?
So a couple of things. We've had conversations, and I've talked to you about how the tree of the makeup there, you've got CYC, the Scout Camp, but then you also had a store in there, and there are different management, different oversight, different upper echelon for them over the camp, two separate entities that occupied one space.
Yeah.
So the store.
So I might need to stop you there. I can't talk about personnel issues, and I can't talk about the actual composition of the Scout organization.
Yeah, I'm telling you just the different dispositions of it. So I think the extension was given to the camp, but not to the store.
Okay.
Is my understanding.
It was given to the master tenant.
Right, which is the CYC, but they needed the store space, I guess, or something to start doing some of the office space takeover or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really 100%, so.
Yeah, you might want to talk to the Scout Camp. I know that there was a reluctance to continue the store.
Right.
And that they wanted to move the operation to a different city just to make it more convenient. But like I said, I don't want to go too deep into things that I can't talk about.
And so one of the things, Jocelyn is here now, and I know you can't speak on this.
Melanie, if I can.
Right.
I heard it a couple times from
I know.
Commissioner
and I'm
Williams.
I know.
I think we need to kind of maybe move on from that particular subject matter. And,
okay.
And if you want to have a side conversation, that's good. But
I'm eager to have that addressed and for you to feel comfortable about it. I just can't talk about it publicly.
Yeah. And you can't talk about taking care of those other people that are without.
I can't directly affect how the Scout Camp operates and the Scout organization operates, and I can't directly affect their personnel decisions.
Right. Okay.
But I will tell you something good. Like I said, I am doing a tour of the camp tomorrow. I am aware of some of the issues with the swimming pool, with the kitchen, with a lot of the deferred maintenance. But I am really enthusiastic when they stood up the Pathways Symposium. I had suggested some local folks that I would like to see involved because they have San Pedro in mind and San Pedro in heart, right?
Right.
And could create an opportunity to make sure that there are eyes and ears throughout the whole process, keeping in mind that Pathways Symposium and the RFP are two separate things, right? And we need to keep them separate. We can't have the same folks that will be part of the RFP also be part of Pathways Symposium. Because when the RFP comes out, we don't want favoritism to take place because of the Pathways Symposium folks having the inside track. That cannot happen, right? But I am really enthusiastic and excited about some of the fundraising activities that could come out of some of the Pathways framework. And the reason why I'm excited, I work really closely with a lot of the nonprofits here in San Pedro, and every single nonprofit is struggling right now.
Yeah.
Every single nonprofit feels the pinch. And I don't want Pathways to be competing with the funds that are currently addressed for San Pedro. I want to make sure that they are raising funds from outside our community and bringing that money here to invest in that space.
My biggest thing, and I've told you my concerns about the place, is it's been open to all economic things and not to be like a scholarship, like the sailing boat, the tall ships for a couple of kids. It needs to be open to
100%.
Everyone 100% all of the time, number one, and not be an elite sailing club.
Yes, 100%. We're on the same page there. Totally agree. And even after the Olympics, I can't say how I would vote, but I have three things that I'm really concerned about and that I dedicate my time towards, and that's women's issues, that's cancer, and that's youth. And so that space, in my mind, is and should continue to be youth-focused.
Yep.
But I do know, like I said, I'm doing a tour tomorrow. I do know that the swimming pool has really bad issues. We are looking to find another facility that might help some of the organizations that use that pool, and they're actually excited about some of the pools that we've selected for them that might actually work out better. I'm not sure how the camping's going to work, and there is the potential from some heavy investment in the kitchen that could be transformational for some of our small businesses here that need a commercial kitchen. So can I move on from the Scout Camp? I have two more items.
Hang on a second.
Yes, sir.
Lori, is this a Scout Camp question?
Please use the mic.
Two things that I wanted to bring up. One, we need to get all the facts cleared up because I've also been in close contact with the Scout organization. They asked for an extension just till March 1st or 2nd, and the port would not extend their current tenant agreement and said they had to end that and then created a different type program that was a lease that did not meet the requirements of the Scouts, so they could not come together on that. But the other thing is I wanted to go to the Harbor Commission and speak on this, and I subscribed to getting the agendas, and when I got the agenda, it said that the meeting was on January, it said it was on Tuesday, January 8th, but January 8th was a Thursday. So I went to the website and it said all of their meetings are on Thursdays. So I was planning to go on Thursday and then found out later that the meeting was actually on the 6th. And that's a Brown Act violation. And I'm not the only person who had that same issue and missed the opportunity. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Do you mind emailing that to my email address so that they can track that? I don't have a card on me. I'm sorry. They read all of my emails, so that'll be tracked. A couple more items and I'll be done. I know that you guys have a janitor that jiggles keys and you need to be out of here by 8:30. The federal jail is closing. There's 1,100 inmates there at the federal jail. That announcement has been made. That's one of the things I'm looking at closely because I do not want, I am worried that as a federal facility could be turned into something other than a jail. And I would be sorely against that, especially given the history of the Terminal Islanders. The one Henry Hudson ship that caught fire. Anyone want to hear about that? Yes? Okay. Real quickly, I just got back from Taiwan. I got off the plane. I was on the ground for 3 hours, and then the explosion happened. I got a notification that there was a fire. The reason why the notification went out to the general public, the alarm that went out, although it was delayed longer than what I would have hoped, it was in abundance of caution because seawater and the electrical fire that was actually part of the ship infrastructure, if mixed the right way, could cause chlorine gas. And so that was the big concern. Also, it took them a minute to figure out the manifest. I guess the manifest did not closely identify exactly what was in each of those containers. The Coast Guard is the lead agency in that situation. The Coast Guard's been addressing that. They're going to come back to the port and bring a full post-op report on exactly what they learned from that situation, what could have been done better, and overall, even though some of the notifications were a little bit disappointing to me, especially the all clear signal that I requested. I did not request the alarm to go out and to wake people up, but I did request, I said, you know what, if you're going to tell the public that they need to shelter in place, you need to be right on top of letting them know when it's okay to come back out. And so that was, I'm not placing blame. I just want to let you know that was a LA Fire Department decision. And key learnings, right? Luckily, there was nothing dangerous. The air was monitored. It did not become a dangerous situation for the community. It was a scary and dangerous situation for the tugboat operators and for the fire suppression units that were out there and our first responders. I have so much respect for them. But just wanted to let you know that further reports are going to come out on that. West Harbor anyone want to hear about West Harbor?
Yeah.
Okay, West Harbor should be opening, a soft opening in July. And it's not going to be a full operation. It's going to have the major players all built out. They are having a little bit of a challenge with building and safety and getting some of the permits done. But just from what I meet with the tenants all the time, and from what I understand, the port is actually helpful and has been working diligently to help get them up and running. I did invite you all to do a tour of West Harbor months ago. I know Ray participated. I think maybe and a few of you participated. I am going to try to get another tour, especially for the neighborhood council folks. I think it's important that you know what's going on there. So many of our community members had their first job down on the waterfront, and they still talk about it, the Orange Julius and the candy shop and all of that. They still hit me up on that. I want to see that continue, and I want to see opportunities grow for our young folks for many generations to come. So I want you guys to take advantage of that. Warehouse 9 looks like they got their alcohol license. They got a beer license, which allows them to have young folks on site, as opposed to I want a full alcohol because I don't drink beer. But it allows them to have like a more family-oriented setting there, which should be kind of cool. And that they're hoping to open, I think they have a ribbon cutting like on next Friday or something like that. And
Are they going to have food at all there, or is it going to be food trucks like before?
I don't know, but I think I'm going to sit down with them, and I also write for San Pedro today. I think I'm going to sit down with them and ask them all the details so that I can, write an article and let people know.
So I have a quick question, and Ellen, I'll hit you next. Can you talk to us about the status of the artificial turf?
Sure. Yes. So the port decided not to make a decision based on advice from the experts within the city that they have the ability, and I know not everyone's going to be happy about it. They have the ability to do either. We can have events where we have grass and people with heels or people in wheelchairs or people with mobility issues might struggle with that. There's safety issues with grass. There's, the first public thing I did, I advocated for beekeeping. I'm a beekeeper. And I went downtown, and the first thing I ever did was advocate in front of City Council, to legalize beekeeping. So I drive an EV, and I'm very environmentally conscious. I lead the environmental justice position on the Port of LA, and I think there's pluses and minuses for both. The artificial turf, which is mostly organic material, and then the grass, the fertilizer situation and the mobility issues for our people that have those mobility issues. I don't think there's one right answer. I think they're going to pick the one that works best for them and go with it.
Is there going to be a time when they make a decision, a formal decision as to what they're going to allow, or are they just going to leave it up to the...
It's definitely up to the tenants, yes.
Okay. That's disappointing.
Like I said, not everyone's going to be happy. There's pluses and minuses to both. I've talked to scientists about it. I work really closely with our LAUSD and the decisions that they made to go with the artificial turf that has cork and organic materials versus lawn material.
LAUSD
had to sound
is
that
pulling
argument.
back on that, and so is every large.
I've heard that, but I met with them and they said different.
I'm not here to argue, but I'm very disappointed. Because
Fair.
That's
fair.
bad.
Like I said, not everyone's going to be happy.
Alan.
Uh-oh. This guy's going to get me on it.
I'm going to have to talk to you about bees.
Yeah, there we go.
Afterwards, but I'm not as tall as Lee. I have two port-related items, one of which also relates to the City Council. I'll start with that one. As some of you probably already know, two of our very important community members, Pat and Diana Nave, are leaving town in March and moving to Escondido. And Pat was for 20 years an attorney for the port. Both of them have served this neighborhood council, Diana, in raised position for a number of years and chaired the Planning and Land Use Committee and has been involved in any number of different community activities. Just two exceptional people that have given so much to San Pedro. And I think it would be really nice if the Board of Commissioners could maybe come up with a certificate, and if this council body could in some way recognize the contributions of the Naves and their good counsel in addressing issues affecting Northwest San Pedro and the wider community. The second issue is one that Lee brought up in his comments regarding the significant population, thousands of Japanese Americans here in San Pedro and in East San Pedro, which is now Terminal Island.
I can do that.
And initially, some of you probably know, because they were ocean-related, they were among the first people interned and removed. They were taken initially to Santa Anita Racetrack, and actually they were then removed to Poston, a resettlement or an internment camp just across the Colorado River in Arizona. And some of them were then sent to Manzanar and to other locations. Related to that, there's an organization that I belong to and volunteer with called HistoriCorps. And they are next month and in early March actually doing the organization restores historical buildings on public lands. And they have a project running from late February to mid-March, restoring some of the facilities at Poston. And it seems to me particularly appropriate that San Pedro should have some representation. I'm going the second week, but you can go to the website HistoriCorps, HistoriCorps, like Marine Corps. And it's a volunteer activity. You meet good people and hopefully help to preserve some of the heritage that we share as Americans, some of which is beautiful and some of which, as Lee has alluded to, is not that proud. But we need to recognize where we have gone astray and learn from it and do better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I also just say, all the arguments I've had with Pat Nave and all the arguments I have with the port attorneys, I get it now. I get it. He was an attorney at the port for a long time, and so that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for having me. I hope that answered some of your questions. Yes, sir.
Questions. Go ahead and Rick and Gwen.
Regarding West Harbor, in the past there had been discussions/arguments about the cost for people to park, and ideas such as San Pedro residents should get a discount or passes to park free and things like that. What's the latest on that situation?
Yeah, I don't know. that hasn't been. I'm not sure if that restriction was written into their lease originally. West Harbor lease, was made long before I became a commissioner, and I'm not sure that they're restricted on that piece. I do understand why they are doing it. I mean, I personally don't know of a 90,000 person town on the West Coast that doesn't have paid parking. I don't know of a single town that has 90,000 people or more that doesn't have paid parking. And I get it all the time that, people are worried about the traffic and they're worried about the parking. We have 13,500 spots, at the Port of LA for parking. I wrote an article for San Pedro Today last month that talks about the red car trolleys, especially the ones that are going to be, the red cars. They're not red car trolleys, although I would love them to be. That is going to be like a best kept secret for San Pedrans to get around and to do that for free. I know that those rides are going to be free, and there's going to be parking spots within the Port of LA that will be free. And I am cheap, and I take advantage of those personally.
Gwen, quick question, please.
Well, I appreciate your ongoing social media presence where you ask questions as to things that would be interesting for people, such as the drone show, which I really hope you advocate for, because fireworks have no business in a harbor area.
Yeah.
But and I'm glad that the Japanese American community discussion has been continued with this. I actually was going to make a pilgrimage to Poston because of my own relations with my community, which all of my friends were Japanese American, and I actually was going to do that soon. So I guess
you still should.
I'm going to make it on that same day. But in regards to, I hope just maybe you can jot these down. I believe that, there was a cherry tree that was torn down at Washington, D.C. at the White House during the removal of the East Wing. I would, and it was actually a gift from the Prime Minister of Japan. And his wife came over, and he and Joe Biden had planted that. Maybe that would be a good ceremony here. There continued to be, and within the Buddhist community within California, Obon Festival at Hanamatsuri, and in downtown Los Angeles, there continues to be a festival. Perhaps we could continue to consider that as part of an education and festival that could be done. One of the most amazing things, and we have the taiko drums here. We could really have a taiko festival.
Yep.
With full dance.
So we do. We have our Chinese New Year festival that involves all of the different nations in Asia, and that is actually one of the biggest events that we have at the port every year.
And but also to consider that we actually do have present the Native American community that is indigenous to this area, and really recognize that. And the Zavalnys, of course, were part of an involvement of a ship that was brought over from. It actually did a tour from the islands and came here, and there was a whole ceremony. And the actual boat there was a ceremonial boat that was gifted to San Pedro, and it's disappeared. But I'm hoping that something along those lines might be considered, even for the Olympics. A tradition of
100%. Yeah, I've been trying to get the Tongva and the other indigenous peoples that originated here in the South Bay to be involved in some of the port celebrations, and so stay tuned for that. especially when we rededicate the new boardroom that's currently under construction. I want them to open that and remind folks that were it not for them, we wouldn't be here.
Monica Ramirez, the chamber, the Wilmington Chamber of Commerce president, there have been some dialogues with her about having a powwow or a festival there. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I from San Francisco, and a lot of people don't know that Alcatraz becomes part of the Native Nation every year on Thanksgiving Day. Back in the 60s, they took over Alcatraz, and as part of the agreement, they are given back Alcatraz for powwows every Thanksgiving. I used to participate. You have to go out there at 5 a.m. So I want to see more of that. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I appreciate your volunteer. I sat in your chairs for quite some time, and I know it's not easy. So thank you.
Lee, if I can just say, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Native American Indian Commission. That's a partnership between City of Los Angeles and County of Los Angeles. You might be able to find what you're looking for representation from our.
Oh yeah, I attend a lot of events. I grab cards from the folks that have come and done ceremonies here.
Well, they have the
Los Angeles.
They have the
Tongva.
No, City of Los Angeles.
They have this winter, many winters gathering every year. And that's where you get representatives from almost every indigenous nation in the Southwest. They come here, and it's a little bit more grassroots than powwows. These people are lived experiences with need, and it's really
and the Angels Gate Arts Center also does. Yeah,
that's where
exactly.
they have it. That's where it is. But the City of Los Angeles also has an Indian, a Native American commission.
That's the one I just said. The Native American Indian Commission. Yeah. It's a partnership between the city and the county. So anyway,
thank you again. Please, continue to push the port as hard as you can. I'm doing the same, even though I can't always talk about it. So thank you.
Well, if I can, it's hard to push them when they're not here.
Yeah.
We used to have Augie here, and then he made an excuse not to show up anymore, and that's really disappointing.
Yeah. I've had conversations with him about it. But,
I wish we could be part of those conversations.
So you also have a president's meeting on Thursday? This Thursday or next Thursday?
I'm not exactly sure. I got to look at my calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've mentioned it there too, and he'll dodge the request. He says that we're too demanding of him.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's sad.
Noted. I wrote it down.
Okay.
I'll address it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
All right. And I really want to apologize for another set of visitors here. And we have a representative from Phillips 66. For those of you who have noticed, there are flarings that have gone on since Saturday and continue, and they're here to talk a little bit about what's happening there.
For a couple hours.
Pearl, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sorry we took so much time. It
was very interesting.
unanticipated.
First time here. I love listening to it.
Visit us often.
We will. I will. My name is Pearl Gutierrez. I am the Public Affairs Coordinator at Phillips 66. I'm here to talk about the flaring that happened on Saturday. I wanted to share that there was an upset in our utility system on Saturday at the Phillips 66 Los Angeles Refinery here in Wilmington, as resulted in temporary smoke and flaring. There have been no injuries, no emissions, and fence line air monitoring shows no offset impact. All safety systems functioned and designed, and required regulatory notifications have been made. Our team's working has been working since then to restore the utility system and reduce the visible smoke on the flare tip. As of this evening, we had already started up our boiler, and we already have the smoke decommenced. It's actually gone already. So we fixed the problem, and we're also already working on figuring out how this is not to happen again. So I was been informed just while I was sitting here that they already had have the flare off and the black smoke is gone.
Okay.
Any questions? Yes, Melanie.
Melanie?
So one question I have for you, I don't know if Nancy has shared with you that normally on the notifications, usually I'm on the notification to call when something goes down and to call me and let me know what's going on so I can get it published out on our website as well as get it out to the neighborhood that's adjacent right there to you, because the neighborhood that's right there is the one that complains the most because they're like right there. And I run the neighborhood watch as well there, so I'm able to have communication and an email blast to get it out to everybody that's there in the neighborhood.
Oh, that's great. Yes, actually, Nancy just mentioned to me coming in that she wanted me to.
And I called in and I was told mechanical failure is what I was told.
So what happened was it was tripped. We don't know exactly how it was tripped, and that's what they're working on right now to figure out why the boiler was tripped. But it's a safety issue also, so that was another reason why that went down.
Okay.
Any other questions for our very thoughtful visitor today? Did I see?
Okay.
No? We're okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Could you give us some contact information?
Use the mic.
I'm sorry.
Can you share your contact information?
Of course. Yes. Right now? Okay. My name is Pedro Gutierrez. I have, you can contact me through 310-952-6180.
6180?
Yes.
Is it Nancy's number?
No, that would be mine.
The 01? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions, concerns? Thank you for,
Of course.
I really appreciate the quick turnaround when I made the inquiry on Sunday, and I was surprised to get the call.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really terrific. And I also had a conversation today with Henry.
Oh, good.
So I appreciate the response, and we're going to be looking forward to not seeing the smoke.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
And
so
Melanie,
much.
I do have your contact now, and so I'll make sure to put you right on the list.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so
Good night.
much. All right. That takes care of agenda item number 4. We have the consent calendar. And you'll see that we have consent items from A through H.
All the minutes.
Budget items, past meeting minutes to approve, and the resignation of Angela from the Youth and Outreach.
Oh no.
But I'm hoping that she will find herself in another capacity. It's not here, but you'll be working with someone else in another committee?
Sustainability.
Am I seeing that
on,
here?
It's on the next page.
Oh, that's why I'm
On
missing
H.
it. Okay, I can't blame it on the podium this time. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm so sorry. So, with that said, can I get a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second.
Second, Adrian, and any discussion? I see no. Oh, okay, Chris.
I'm against it.
What?
I'm against it.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Any other comments? Okay, so let's go ahead and take the vote.
John Barbera.
Yes.
Vic Christensen, I Meg Cordero. Sorry, you cannot vote because budget stuff. Adrian Fernandez.
Yes.
Cynthia Gagne.
Yes.
Gwen Henry.
She's outside.
Yeah.
You want me to get her?
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie LeBrecq.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Kane Nicholas.
Yes.
Ray Regalado.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Chris Valle. Okay, that is 12 ayes, 1 ineligible, and 1 not voting.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, for the next one, just under the advice of the attorney, I'd like to recuse myself, even though we're not taking action.
Which is the next? The budget and
so,
finance?
okay.
Wait,
So
wait,
budget
wait.
and
Hang on.
What?
Wait.
He hasn't finished his comment.
Let me leave the room.
Okay. You don't need to, Adrian. We aren't voting on it.
No,
Oh, okay.
You can't, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He needs to leave. Adrian, can you do me a favor? Can you please have the board member either report in or
Get the hell out.
make it, okay.
There we go. Okay, so this item doesn't need to be voted on, and a little explanation behind this. When I first submitted the MPG for Toberman to the city clerk's office, they told me because the date on it, she had just taken another one, and they did this with Central where they had the wrong date on the start. They had it in 2025. So it put it starting in the fiscal year last year. And so they couldn't approve it, and they denied it, and the date had to be changed. So I sent it to Toberman, told them they needed to change the date, advised them of what to change the dates to, and they fixed it. Well, then I resubmitted it to the city clerk. And that's the way, in 10 years of me doing this, we've always just done a fix and sent it back in. Don't have to bring it back to the board because we voted on $2,000 for the grant. But when I sent it back, I sent it in and just re-added it, like we've done in the past if there's a problem with a signature missing or whatever. And I did that. I got a decline again telling me that I needed to bring it back to the board, that it couldn't be voted on, or take the old BAC because we changed the dates. I'm like, we voted on $2,000. That's what we voted on, not the dates of the MPG. And this is the way it's been done in the past. And she kind of was flippant about it, so I wrote a very extensive email and sent it to her and her supervisors, BCC. Well, she wasn't happy that I BCC'd her supervisors, and so I saw that there was no response on it, and I saw her comment saying it's declined, period. It's not being approved. So I emailed her again, and I said, so this is denied, and we're standing by this. And she goes, well, yes, if I have my way, but my supervisors are reviewing it. Well, I got an email back from her just on Friday saying, since you escalated this, we're approving it because my supervisor said that we should approve it for you. So you saw the city clerk funding thing in your emails prior today. It was approved for $2,000 for Toberman. So we don't need to do this because persistence won and making them,
Okay.
not play games.
Thank you for all your work on this. I know it wasn't easy with the clerk. So with that, can we get Adrian back in and move on?
If you can hear us, Adrian, come back in.
You have anything else?
Okay. Thank you, Adrian, for...
Thank you, Adrian.
You missed a good one.
So we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 7. Thomas is not here, and I don't have a report because we have we sometimes meet with the Port of Los Angeles, so no report on the port, and we had a very extensive report from Lee, which I really appreciate. So we're going to move on to agenda item number 8, executive committee. Let me just be very brief about it and what's been happening on the executive committee level. I've been focusing my attention, and I'm telling you, it's been a lot of work, my attention on Vincent Thomas Bridge issues and the closure of it. Not a lot of change, except that there, as was stated, it will close, and it's going to be probably the early-ish to mid this year, 16 months. So make plans. Vincent Thomas Bridge will be closed soon for quite a few months. The other issue that we have been working on, I have been working on to try to get clarity, try to get, advocate for them is the Scout Camp. I've been in a lot of meetings with them, along with Lori, along with other neighborhood council presidents. And we've been advocating a lot for the work that they have done to give them some extended time, but it was a contract issue and they chose to take the path that they did. So I will be meeting with the person in charge of P2P, or Pathways to Employment, and try to get insight as to just what it is that they're going to be doing, and hopefully I can use some of the advocacy power that we have on our neighborhood council to talk a little bit of, see what they're going to be doing.
Pathway to podium. To podium.
I said employment, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pathways to podium.
Podium.
Thank you for the correction. So there's still a lot of work to be done in and around the Scout Center, still a lot of conversations to happen with. I'm not exactly sure that there's going to be much conversation going on with the actual Scout organization. However, I think our advocacy to make sure that there is well-rounded activities and programming for our community through P2P, and we'll see how that's going along. And I am going to try to get them to come out here and do a presentation on what that's all about. Yes, Melanie?
And
I'm not through yet, so but go ahead.
I wanted to say I totally support that, because I did a lot of checking on the grant for them, and the people involved in that grant are LA Yacht Club and Cabrillo Yacht Club. So it's stinky, in my opinion. It smells very stinky, because that's why I said to Lee about the LA Elite Yacht Club, to have that turn into that.
Right.
So
anyway, that's the other area in which I've been focusing quite a bit of time and effort into, so that we do make sure that we advocate for the community members who have used the Scout Center for so long, and hopefully we don't lose a lot of that opportunity in the future. And finally, been doing a lot of work with the Phillips 66 and the issues of what's going on there about their overall closure. There is a community entity that has developed kind of grassroots, and it's from people that we know, the Knaves. They've kind of started the ball rolling in that. Hearing that they're going to be moving out of the area, that's some advocacy that I'm a little concerned about. But the advocacy doesn't end there. It starts here.
Yeah.
They're in our backyard, and we have to be very, very conscious of what it is that's going to happen in that property, especially the Gaffey-facing property that we are all going to be seen as we trek north and south on Gaffey. So I've been advocating very hard about green space leading up to the top. Been advocating very much about the fact that we do not want artificial turf in the two large soccer fields. And guess what? No artificial turf.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I don't care what was said about how natural artificial turf can be. It is not.
It is not.
Okay? It is not. And more fields that are artificial turf based, they're getting rid of them.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of them because of the injuries.
Yes.
But not to mention the fact, and this wasn't mentioned on NPR last week, that the reflective heat that goes back into the atmosphere is horrendous.
Yep.
So, I think people who are going to concerts at West Harbor in their heels, and it might cause them problems with footing, I think that's a sad excuse to allow West Harbor people to go along with that. And I hope that we can come as a group, as a neighborhood council, advocate very hard that at the very least we need natural turf there. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with natural turf in that area. They want to go with, they want to do all the things that they're doing with California native plants, and you'll see some of the landscaping that's happening there. So there is this feeling that, okay, let's do something natural. But the other side of that horrible coin is the fact that they want to put artificial turf in their amphitheaters area. So anyway, those are some of the things that I have been involved with. Those are some of the things that I have been advocating on behalf of the neighborhood council. Although I have to be real careful about, if we don't have votes and stuff like that, I can't say from neighborhood council. But here's the thing. They identify me, but they identify every single one of you as a member of the neighborhood council. And that is our power. The power to speak with one voice, and the power to be able to make sure that we speak what we used to say a lot in organizing, truth to power. We can do it. We can certainly do it. So, with that said, Gwen, I think I saw your hand. Quick comment, because I want to get out of here early. We had a very long set of conversations.
Well, I'm hoping that the Environment and Sustainability Committee can possibly discuss the AstroTurf and the artificial grass.
I am looking forward to that.
But in regards to, high heels, if they're going to have their hoity-toity galas and things like that over there, all they have to do is, in that ball or whatever they're going to do, they can always put down a floor over the grass.
This is going to go around their amphitheater.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a place where people are going to go and dance and stuff like that. People are going to lie, or sit on the grass, no different than they do at the John Anson Ford Theater, no different than they do with the Greek Theater. Yep. No different than they do at the Hollywood Bowl.
The Wilmington Park, where...
But most of those have seats with pavement.
They have seats, but the surrounding areas is natural grass.
The Wilmington Park, where Tim had his swearing-in ceremony, if you remember that at his election. One thing that you might have noticed at the AstroTurf that's there is that it's the type that also has little bits of tire which are scattered within that. And if you noticed, all of that had flown and it collected around the drains, which are right there at the harbor. So all of that, those little bits of tire debris, and that's what it is basically. It turns into micro,
So we have an opportunity as a community.
It's not compatible
to advocate for what's right. And this is my opinion. You guys can tell me, Ray, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. But this is what I'm going to fight for, because it's the right thing to do.
And we can take some leads. There are a lot of coastal communities that have already taken leads on good practices around.
I definitely want the Sustainability and Environment Committee to take a look at this and look at it very hard, because we got to make a statement. Hopefully, we all agree with what is right here. And that's my paid political announcement here. So anyway, that's what I've been doing on behalf of the Neighborhood Council, on behalf of the Executive Committee. So, any questions? Any thoughts? Anyone? Mm-mm. Okay, we're going to move on to the next item, Bylaws and Elections Committee. Adrian, you had a question about that.
No, not yet.
Not yet? What did I do? Oh, I see what I did.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, executive posting of agendas, cancellation of, and that will be Vic. I'm sorry, I kind of overstepped.
Freudian slip. I get it.
Yeah, that too. I'm sorry about that.
People have been doing better, posting their agendas and so on, but everything is not completely fixed, and so I just wanted to go over a brief set of rules that, and this goes by the Brown Act as well as our own internal bylaws and standing rules. When you post an agenda, there are 3 places that you have to post it for a meeting. One is sending it to NC Support. One is sending it to NC Web Posting to get that gets posted on our website. And the third, and this is where the main problems have been, a hard copy must be posted at LAPD. So any planned meetings, you have to put them at all 3 places. If you're not planning a meeting and you know it's going to be canceled, the cancellation notice must go to those same 3 places. So everybody knows that it's canceled. That doesn't depend on whether the day is a holiday or it just gets outright canceled because you're going to cancel it or whatever. Even if it's on a holiday like, say Christmas, that's automatically, people are going to obviously know that's going to be canceled. You still have to post the cancellation notice. That is part of the rules and the law. If you are planning to have a meeting, you end up having one or trying to have one, but you don't have a quorum, this is going on to the committee reports. Even if you try to have one but don't have a formal meeting because you didn't have a quorum, you still need to post a report, and this is just to NC Web Posting. That's only internal, not the other 2 places. Showing, and all reports, whether it's this situation or you actually have the meeting, must show attendance and indicate the absences, if there are any, by either excused or unexcused. Those are part of the rules. That's part of the Brown Act and part of our internal regulations. So if you have a meeting and you say discuss things, but you don't have motions to look, any action items, you still do a report. If you try to have a meeting, but you can't because you don't have quorum, you still do a report. The only time you would not do a report is if it's outright canceled from the start, but that's the only case. Any questions? Okay. So anytime I go over to LAPD and there's supposed to be a meeting coming up, I will be sure to see paper copies of the agendas, correct? Or cancellation notices. That's all.
Thank you, Vic. And that's really important stuff. We've been kind of skirting the rules there. And I'm sure it's not purposely, but we got to get a little bit better. And thanks for reminding us of it. Bylaws and Elections Committee, Adrian?
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Just very, very, very quick updates that the Bylaws and Elections Committee will be coming back up pretty soon so we can finish our standing rules. We're on a little bit of a hold just because I'm having some technological issues with my computer, but we'll be getting that back up soon. I will send out an email pretty soon for anybody who has standing rule amendments. So just look around. I will send it soon. I probably might or might not call a meeting either next week or the week after. So just check around your emails. But I'm sure we'll get that. I'll get that out shortly. And then status of filling the vacant Averill seat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the executive committee. I'm just going to put an application out. I feel it's just best to put an application out. And if somebody wants to go ahead and run, just keep it open until somebody wants to fill out an application.
Because there's several people that are interested, but I thought Chris was going to post the application online on the website.
So I do have a.
No, you have to. Something goes. something goes on the website, you have to send it to Christina.
What?
I don't have access to post things on the website. That's to go to Christina or.
So do we have to, and it's a technical question I do have for the executive committee, is do we need to formally agendize opening?
No, because we already did.
Okay, so then, so tomorrow I can just let Cheryl know, put an application on the website?
But it doesn't stay open forever.
No, 30
I know.
days usually. And on Facebook you can post it, and on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, and if and when we get applicant or multiple applicants, then we will agendize essentially the board vote. And that sort of stuff. So it would be within whatever month.
Yeah. So then would the deadline just be the day before the executive committee?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
not a bad idea. Or
you can
You
go
can
ahead and
set
put
it.
Okay. Okay. But other than that, that's my report. Any other questions have for me? Hi, Angela.
So if someone was interested in applying for the Averill seat, they should check the website sometime after tomorrow for that information?
Correct, yes. Yes, Glenn. Is it just a job form?
If you have something like that, you can send it to me.
Yeah, if you have a graphic for,
I'll send it. I'll have to send it to you.
okay, yeah, send it to me and then yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then if it's outreach, I'll send it over to the VP over there. Okay.
Any other questions? No? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Budget and finance?
Um,
Melanie?
So budget and finance, nothing to report there other than you guys at this meeting need to approve a movie. So you need to get a list of movies, vote on them, get an invoice from Swank before the budget and finance meeting in February, so that we can bring it to the board to vote on it. So you guys, we can do the 30 days to see if you can have it in March. Because she's going to be a stickler because of the last event with the MPG, so she's going to stick to the rules big time. The other thing is the budget advocate report thing. Right now we've been doing meetings and doing the white paper. I just submitted and completed the port report and the EMD report. They were sent to Barbara. So what I'll do is next meeting for our board, I'll share those reports with you so you can read them.
Can I just add real quick that I completed, along with Melanie, I completed the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment and Youth Development Department, so I can share those as well.
And you did what, neighborhood empowerment?
I did Department of Neighborhood Empowerment and Youth Development Department.
Next meeting, do you want to include your reports
I can
too?
share them with you.
We
yeah.
can share those with everybody
Yeah.
so they see what we've done.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Thank you.
So Thomas did one too. I wonder if he'd want to share his.
He did the zoo.
Did he do two?
No, I think he did the zoo and EWD.
Oh, okay. That'd be great if
Yeah.
I'll contact him and see if he wants to include his too. Because that's good reading for you guys to see what exactly went on and what the recommendations are and what digging information we found out.
These are important roles that these guys are doing.
What?
I'm just sharing that these are important roles that you guys are doing, that this is actually feedback that the city is really, really scrutinizing. This is your feedback for pretty much all of neighborhood councils, correct?
Well, no. It's budget advocate report is basically those that have been elected as budget advocates. We're a team of like 1 or 2, 3 budget advocates that meet with the different departments, and we write reports that are called for the white paper book based on their budgets and the meeting and recommendations and things that they've shared with us based on certain questions that we have given them, like the budget, the challenges that they've had, et cetera, and the focus of things that they didn't get, what they wish they would have got, et cetera, and some of the problems they've had. And then the report gets derived from that, and we write the report. Then it's shared with the mayor and the CFO and all of that.
In other words, There is a very small group of within the 99 neighborhood councils, there are a very small amount of representatives who are providing this that is going to the mayor. This is not 99 people are doing this budget chat. It's just you guys. You're doing it.
Stakeholders, neighborhood council board members, and any budget representatives can participate.
Can be involved in it.
It's not just budget advocates,
Yeah. Well, I've had budget reps that came to the meetings with me for EMD. We've had budget advocates, stakeholders that have attended the meeting too. So, yeah. And they're all posted on our website.
Okay, you want to move on to the next?
So, public safety, it was Christmas, so we didn't have a meeting. CPAB is dark, so they didn't have a meeting. They'll be starting up this Thursday. I'm the one that didn't post the agenda because it was Christmas. And I thought everybody would think there wasn't a meeting because of Christmas. Why? But now I know.
Don't ever do that again, okay?
Bad girl.
Anything else?
And that's it.
Any questions? None? Okay, moving on to youth and outreach.
It was canceled.
Canceled.
Yeah, the meeting was canceled. We do have a brief report in that we are continuing our media efforts of production. We had good interviews with Ray. We talked to Councilmember McCosker. Talked to Adrian today. Kane and April have recorded. If any other board members have contributions or anything that they'd like to want to talk about on camera in terms of their tenure on the board, I will probably bring all this stuff next month, and I'll be here about 5. And I'm also going to try and, if anybody wants to come early to a youth and outreach meeting in 3 weeks, a few weeks, do that. So we're not sure exactly what the format will be in terms of publishing this stuff, but we're trying to tell the story of not only our experiences on the board, but just the neighborhood council's experience in general. So we're trying to collect those stories. So far, so good.
Is there like a release date or like expected?
Now, we're probably going to have abbreviated content from the interviews that'll go out on Instagram and Facebook, and then longer form stuff, or maybe a single long form thing that goes out on YouTube later on. So just kind of, we're sort of building a library, I guess.
Okay. Thank you. Planning and land use?
We did not have a meeting last month, obviously due to the holiday. But as far as updates from planned land use / port, there was a great information that was passed on today. And we will be looking to cancel this week, Wednesday's meeting, January 14th of 2026. So thank you. I'll send out the notice shortly in post.
Okay. Any questions? No? Thank you, Kane.
No sustainability yet.
Okay. Christina's not here, so we'll move on. The Christensen Science Center?
No news.
Any liaison reports? Animal shelter, Christina's not here. DWP, not here. Public Works, Kane, anything?
No.
Okay. LA Film?
No
Cynthia?
report.
None? Okay. Sustainability Alliance, probably none there. Data Liaison?
Nope.
Nope. Any quick announcements? No one's raising their hand? There's no announcements? Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. So we'll move on to 11. Any last public comments, non-agenda items? No. Okay, moving on. Next meeting, Monday, February 9th, 6 o'clock. And without objection, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
For the record, adjourned at 8:33 p.m.
Actually, let me start.
Stop on me right now.
I know we were going to try to cancel February 9th. DW still working on it. Okay. I've already made the phone call. Okay. That's the business. Yeah. Okay. I will text
Let me know if there's too many. Do you know when she's going to
questions? Don't know yet. April.